Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I just want to start off. Whether you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan or you're a big Kenny Pickett fan, I just want to start off and say, I don't have any offense with Kenny Pickett. I don't wish ill on any player in the NFL. I'm just not like that. My beef right now is with the NFL and the NFL Players Association. Something is seriously wrong with this entire concussion protocol BS. And right now, we've got to call it BS. And in fact, we should see some Pittsburgh Steelers fans calling this concussion protocol thing BS as well. Because what goes around comes around. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, last Sunday, as in like 3 or 4 days ago, Kenny Pickett was playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he got a concussion. He got waylaid. He got knocked out. All right? And when he went down, he got taken off the field and put in the concussion protocol. So I'm going to show you guys a few things. So there's a little sequence of events that I want to go through here. So first thing I want to talk about is, poor guy. He got laid out. You can see him right there. And what's really interesting, he's almost in the same position that Tua was in. You know, that hand thing. He's got his hands up around his head. Next picture, we see it zoomed in close. Both of his hands are like this. Both of his hands are up in front of his face. That is not a natural position. They didn't say he did the same thing as Tua. He didn't have you saw the picture of Tua. But you can see that his arms are like that. And he was done. And everybody on that picture, the lineman looking at him, the guy from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is looking down at him, the ref is looking down at him. The guy had a concussion, period. The guy had a concussion. So here's how things progressed. Ian Rappaport, big writer for the NFL, says Steelers QB Kenny Pickett has been ruled out of the rest of the game with concussion. You can see the time there is 3:30 p.m. when that ruling came out. So he was ruled out with a concussion on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. Next, Adam Schefter comes in. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said QB Kenny Pickett remains in the concussion protocol, but his practice work will not be limited this week. He's going to be fine. If he can play, quote, Tomlin said he will play. The expectation is that tight end Pat Freiermuth also will be cleared for Sunday night's game in Miami. Notice the time there. That's 12:08 p.m. yesterday on a Monday. Not even 24 hours later, Mike Tomlin said, no worries, he's playing. There is no possible way, as we have seen, the Miami Dolphins have tremendous experience in this. We know there's no possible way that Kenny Pickett went through all of the stages of the concussion protocol and would be cleared on Monday morning. Just not going to happen. We saw what happened to Tua, obviously. We saw what happened to Teddy Bridgewater. This is insane. But nobody is saying anything. So let's look at a couple more. Remember the timeline here. So here is an ESPN sideline reporter, Brooke Pryor. Kenny Pickett is in a concussion protocol. So she's confirmed he's in the concussion protocol. But his practice work won't be limited, quote, in any way, says Mike Tomlin. Show me any concussion protocol document anywhere that says if you have a concussion less than 24 hours ago, you are definitely going to be playing. I haven't seen it. If he's cleared to play, he'll play quarterback for us. Pickett will be a full participant in today's practice. He didn't wait for any doctors, didn't wait for anyone to say anything. Mike Tomlin played judge and jury here and said that Kenny Pickett will play. Sports Illustrated chimes in. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett is officially out for the rest of the game with a concussion. So that's 3:40 p.m. So the media got the word. They all understood that Kenny Pickett was out with a concussion. There was no wiggle worm. There was no wiggle. You know what I mean. There was no place to go. he had a concussion. He was out. David Todd only seen one guy say Kenny Pickett had a concussion. How many guys do you have to hear that say that Kenny Pickett had a concussion? You got all the reporters, you have the team saying it, they put him in concussion protocol, but this guy doesn't think it's a concussion. Most of us assumed he had a concussion. No one in the Steelers organization ever confirmed that. Yes, they did. If he's already cleared to practice, Pickett did not have a concussion. Can still be in protocol to be sure diagnosis is correct. Every single one of you who understood what Teddy Bridgewater went through understands that the concussion protocol doesn't need confirmation from other people. The UNC, which is the unaffiliated neurological consultant, a couple other doctors, they determined that, Teddy Bridgewater stumbled somehow. And when Teddy Bridgewater stumbled, that's it. You've got ataxia. You're in the concussion protocol. You don't need people on Twitter and other doctors saying he's going to be okay. But let's continue. All right, so we're going to go to another one. Steelers now. The Steelers know the spotlight will be on their decision to play QB Kenny Pickett, but feel confident in their medical team. I wonder if the Dolphins felt confident in their medical team when they wanted Teddy Bridgewater or Tua to play. But, we're supposed to just think it's okay with the Steelers. Quote, I love this one. People from all over the world in football and other sports entities come to Pittsburgh to see our people. Digest that. Let's read that again. People from all over the world in football and other sports entities come to Pittsburgh to see our people. Well, I can pretty much guarantee you that more people travel to Miami, especially this time of year, kind of brisk out there today, by the way, than go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm pretty sure, being that we're the gateway to South America, there's a lot more people from all over the world that come to Miami and watch the Miami Dolphins. But I didn't know, and I still haven't been able to confirm, that the amount of people traveling to your city dictates how the concussion protocol works. Earlier when I was stumbling on my words and was saying, wiggle room is what I was reaching for, the concussion protocol doesn't give you any wiggle room. There are 4 or 5 stages you have to complete before you can get back on the field of play. But I guess we didn't see in the footnotes the asterisk that said, nah, that's only if you're in Miami. Because nobody here seems to understand what the concussion protocol in the NFL is. They've already made up their minds what's going to happen. So let's look at some more here. I got this from around the NFL. Mike Tomlin, QB Kenny Pickett in concussion protocol. That's from Mike Tomlin. The other guy said nobody in the entire organization confirmed it. But around the NFL found it, and they said QB Kenny Pickett in concussion protocol, but will start versus the Dolphins if cleared. Who is clearing him? Who is going to be saying that this guy has gone through all the progressions of the concussion protocol, and amazingly, unlike Tua Tagovailoa, unlike Teddy Bridgewater, he is amazingly ready to play on Sunday night? None of these people, none of these media outlets even questioned that. Nobody even said, hey, there's a protocol here. There's a number of steps that you have to go through, and you have to meet those steps and overcome each step before you can even be cleared to play. None of these guys are even asking. It's just, hey, Tomlin said it's okay. Let's move forward. Love this one. And this is something I can't really show much down here because I don't want the NFL to go give me a copyright strike. But Danny Cannell used to play in the NFL, and he's also an announcer. Fins are getting screwed here. Watch this video and find me any sign of concussion here. There is nothing. And yet Teddy Bridgewater was deemed a no-go based off of this video. And worse now that he's in a protocol, he can't practice until Thursday. It's a joke. I agree. I 100% agree that it's a joke. But it happened. Teddy Bridgewater didn't have a concussion. He was placed into a concussion protocol because somebody somewhere with binoculars thought they saw him stumble. We've had news stations down here in South Florida that have analyzed every angle of him walking off the field. He did not stumble. But the NFL deemed that he stumbled and he must have a concussion. Even after all the tests cleared him and he didn't have a concussion, everybody said, yeah, he's got a concussion. Didn't matter. Couldn't even practice. Didn't even get on the field until what it was end of last week. But Kenny Pickett's going to be able to play on Sunday. Again, I don't have anything against Kenny Pickett. I hope the guy's doing very well. I'm just talking about the overwhelming hypocrisy of such a BS discretionary application of their so-called concussion protocol. And like the guy says here, the point is that Bridgewater didn't stumble. We all know that. Let alone display any ataxia, which he didn't. When he got up from his hit, he walked fine. Didn't stumble. Meanwhile, the Steelers are planning on playing Kenny Pickett a week after he was confirmed to have a concussion. Do you guys see all this insanity? How can it not be deemed hypocritical? How can we, as Miami Dolphins fans, not feel as though there's a target on our backs, that there's a target on Tua's back, that they just want Miami to be, not working towards a title of any sort? They need to do whatever they can to stop Miami. Yeah, that seems like a huge conspiracy theory. I know it sounds absolutely insane. But you tell me. I'm open for discussion. Go ahead and put it in the comments. We're going to talk about this in some of the comments. You tell me how Kenny Pickett can have a concussion on a Sunday afternoon, a late Sunday afternoon, and by Monday and Tuesday, the head coach is already like, he's playing. He's fine. He's going to get cleared. He'll play Sunday night. And nobody says anything. Later on, I looked at something today, and The Atlantic, which is a big sports media outlet, Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett on track to play a week after suffering a concussion. You tell me, why is the media okay with this? If you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, you also have to tell me, hey Barry, you're full of crap, because why? We just went through it twice. I think a lot of people in Miami are very familiar with the concussion protocol. Yet the media isn't saying a word. They're letting this go by as though, nothing ever happened. The guy's fine. He's no residual problems. He breezed through concussion protocol. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. What are we talking about? And I'm not trying to be a biased partisan, to an honor, as somebody says, as they call us. I'm just trying to understand what the rules are here and who gets to dictate and mandate who gets affected by these rules, because it doesn't seem like it's applied equitably. Not at all. And then, of course, you remember those that concussion expert who was all over Twitter saying that Tua was gonna destroy his life. The Miami Dolphins didn't care about him. It was horrible. They had doctors who never even talked or examined Tua, who came on and were like, oh my God, he's going to have brain damage. This guy who Chris Nowinski, this is the huge concussion guy that talks about concussions about everybody in Miami and some other players. I'm going to refresh this just in case something happened while we've been on. So I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to scroll down. This is his pinned tweet. Here's a tweet 51 minutes ago. 51 minutes ago. Look who he's talking about. Tua says he was told by one of the doctors who cleared him that QBs are at lower risk of CTE. That's not true. he's going after Tua again. Here's the local Channel 10 video with him saying that he's going to be okay. He doesn't buy it. He doesn't believe it. He's going after Tua again. Obviously still getting donations from people about Tua. Then I'm going to go back 51 minutes and he's showing Tua's concussion. So he's got 3 tweets in a row about Tua. 20 hours ago, he talks about a wrestler who got a concussion in the ring. Prior to that, he talked about the ref who was doing the fight at the wrestling event and how he was qualified to determine concussions. Then he goes on 7 hours ago, he talks about Donald Parham from the Chargers who took a tough hit. I got to scroll past it because of the NFL. And now I'm back to October 18th and he's, hey, send me some money. Then I'm back to October 17th and he's talking about Donald Parham again. Then October 17th, he's talking about a conference that he's going to be speaking at. Then the exact game, let me get rid of that so the NFL doesn't bitch at me. The exact same game, he talks about Cameron Brate being carted off the field with a concussion. The same game that Kenny Pickett was off the field with a concussion. That's on October 16th. That was on Sunday. He never mentions at all. Then he goes after Greg Little again, another Miami Dolphin. He never mentioned Kenny Pickett. Again, make it make sense. I just went through his entire timeline back to when Kenny Pickett got the concussion. Nothing. Not a word. You had Tua, Greg Little, some other guys. Nothing about Kenny Pickett. Not a word about Kenny Pickett. It's like it never happened. People have been calling him out all day for the last 2 days. He didn't miss it. They've been putting his handle in their comments. He never responded. Not once. This is really weird. This is complete hypocrisy. So let me play you something that even goes more so to the insanity of all this. This is going to be a video with Mike Tomlin. So let me go ahead and find it and go to cut 1 here. Where is it? And here's Mike Tomlin.
Kenny Pickett's in the concussion protocol. It's my understanding that his work won't be limited in any way in preparation, and so we'll adhere to the protocol and we'll follow that and let that be our guide in terms of participation. I'll say this: if he's cleared to play, he'll play. He'll play quarterback for us. In the meanwhile, man, we'll ready ourselves. He'll be a full participant, is my understanding, tomorrow, and so we'll have him and Mitch working at the quarterback position.
Does go.
So tell me that. Tell me how he stood up on the dais, did a speech at a press conference, and said, "Yeah, he's playing." I mean, assuming he's cleared, but he's got no limitations. He can practice. Where in the concussion protocol does it say that Mike Tomlin, whatever the hell his name is, can mandate or dictate how the concussion protocol evolves? I don't get it. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, smells like a duck, it's usually a duck, and I don't see anywhere. You can go ahead and do your own searches on Twitter. You can do your own searches on YouTube. Find me anybody who's asking the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL, how in the hell can Kenny Pickett be playing? Explain it to me. Pretend I'm 2 years old, 5 years old. Be very slow. Talk to me. Tell me how this makes any sense whatsoever. It's simply amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't get some comments here and just understand what the heck is going on. I mean, because it's just not fair. It's not fair at all, and it is hypocritical. So let me see what you got here. We got the league doesn't want another Dolphin title. End of story. It sure enough seems like that. Nobody else can make any sense of this. So when something doesn't make sense, it's usually like the Occam's razor type of definition. The obvious explanation is the most easiest. They don't want the Dolphins to win. Let's see. Dude, I am not putting your stuff up there. Exactly. Tua has to sit multiple weeks. Teddy gets put out with a stumble on 2 separate drives. During the Jets, there were some timely penalties, like 5 in a row to push us back, then 4 in a row to push us back further. Yeah, something doesn't make any sense. Let's see what here. I didn't see this game, but I have heard from people that Travis Kelce should have been out of the Bills game. Nope, didn't happen. Everyone can call us crazy conspiracy theorists, 2 and honors. One guy in here is already saying it, but I just don't get it. Not saying I don't want Tua to play for us, just asking a question. Do you think we should trade Tua? You don't want that answer, do you? Come on, man. Let's see. All you haters talking about our quarterback and our coach Jets suck. English, man. Come on, man. Give me some English. Okay, what do we got here? Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State were getting away with murder. The Hurricanes lost 2 championships. The very last. What? Come on, man. Here's a good comment. Barry, don't open a Pandora's box. I told y'all NFL is covering the Buffalo game up. They sure are. Something doesn't make sense. Something doesn't make sense. I don't know what it is. Mark Phillips says maybe it's the spotter that was stumbling. Wow. Here's one. It's not a conspiracy. I'm a Steelers fan. This guy says I'm a Steelers fan, and I can see that Miami is being targeted. Thank you. It's so obvious. The Dolphins are, Tony V says, the Dolphins are perceived as a racist team because of Flores, who happens to be taking the field on Sunday. Meanwhile, we're the most diverse organization in the league and one of the most diverse cities in the country. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Oh, yeah. Oh, where's this one? What about Justin Fields? He got hit twice the other week and got up slow and still didn't get kicked out of the game. Yep. You can go on YouTube. You can pull that up. You can see he was basically crawling. I thought the kid was going to puke. Nothing. Talk about a stumble. Maybe he didn't stumble because he couldn't get up. And you remember what happened with Brian Berrios in the Jets game. He just sat in the end zone, or basically right by the end zone. He couldn't even stand up. But nothing. Here's something. I'm a Steelers and Bills fan too, but the Finns are getting the Trump treatment. That could be. I mean, I don't want to get into politics here because people get nuts, but this is kind of nuts. This is really nuts. What do we got here? We go. Flores is the same as Sammy the Bull Gravano. Just joining your stream. But I agree 100% completely hypocritical of the league and pisses me off more than anything that happened to us this season. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And, some of the haters that are in here and they're spewing crap, try to have a substantive conversation. I just presented you a whole bunch of stuff. Can you give us a comment if you think we're just nutty conspiracy theorists? What happened? How did Kenny Pickett get up? Get out of concussion protocol? How did his coach just say, yeah, he's playing this weekend? How did Justin Fields do what he did? How did Brian Berrios do what he did? How did Travis Kelce do what he did? We've got so much visible evidence. And all you guys can say is that we're 2 and honors and we're conspiracy theorists and blah, blah, blah. But you can't have anything. You don't have anything to combat the narrative. What happened? How is Kenny Pickett allowed to play this weekend? Doesn't make any sense. Let's see what we got here. Buffalo pushes Tua, and in my opinion, they were targeting Tua low and trying to take him out in the Bengals game 3 plays in a row. They went low, and then they slammed him. Now, I'm telling you, watch what happens Sunday. One of the things the NFL didn't do, which I have a problem with, is if you think that the quarterbacks are being targeted and you want to protect them, you got to do more than a 15-yard penalty. If I'm a defensive lineman and I know I can, maybe take Tua out, and the worst it's going to cost me is a 15-yard penalty, 15-yard penalty, take out QB1. 15-yard penalty, take out QB1. I'm not saying there's a bounty. I'm not saying that somebody wants to maliciously hurt him, but if I could take a shot at him, a legal shot, what do you think they're going to do? And what do you think on Sunday night with Brian Flores coming back to a racist organization, what do you think they're going to be pumped up to do? They're going to be pumped up to take Tua out. And the league has done nothing. A 15-yard roughing the passer penalty versus taking out QB1, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Let's see here. Richard Hampton says, the media, the establishment, they go after who they don't like. Yep. It's gone from politics into sports, and now it's bleeding in through, and we're going to end up with flag friggin' football. Absolutely nuts. And I do believe that Miami is a strong advocate, strong opponent to take the Bills down and go to the Super Bowl. Call me crazy. I mean, right now, who knows what will happen? Like I said, I don't like making predictions, but I'm looking at stats and seeing where things are. And if Tua stays healthy, if Skylar stays healthy, if Teddy stays healthy, this team could conceivably win their next 5 or 6 games. And now you're looking at a team that's 8-3, 9-3. Yeah, they're going to be in the playoffs. Does the league want them there? I have no idea. Wow, there's some really guys in here that really don't like Mike, what's his name? McDaniel. It's just stop discussing when they make rules for one. I think she meant disgusting when they make rules for one team, then no other team has to follow the same rules. Absolutely disgusting. And again, I'm seeing some of the people in here, and what they're saying is that 15-yard penalty, it's a joke. You're absolutely right. I mean, if you're not going to fine these guys, if you're not going to eject them, I mean, essentially, just put it this way. If somebody gets a hit and they get a concussion, they're being ejected. But the person who makes the flagrant hit, if they get penalized, is 15 yards. If. But other than that, they're not getting tossed. How about if you hit someone and get a roughing the passer penalty and that person goes out and you take a walk to the sidelines too, and you are out from your team the same length of time that the person who got the concussion is out. Then you'll see some difference in the NFL. Imagine that. Imagine a guy who tackled Tua. I don't even think he got a penalty. The Bills guy got a penalty. The guy from the Bengals didn't even get a penalty. All right, so now if Tua was out 3 weeks, you're done. You're done for 3 weeks. But the NFL will never do that. I just saw something. Where is that? I just saw a really good comment. I got to bring it up because it goes into the rest of what we were just talking about. Yeah, you're right. The 15-yard penalty is nothing. You were talking about, somebody was talking about if Tua getting rid of the ball. So this is where I'm going to go next. Got a couple of things I want to show you. In some of my game videos, I've been telling you guys that one of the problems I see with Tua a lot is he keeps trying to extend the play. He keeps trying to make the play. I mean, that's what won the national championship when he was at Alabama. But in the NFL, the top-level quarterbacks, and I've said this in a number of videos, they get rid of the ball. And you saw it with Kirk Cousins at Minnesota. Hey, it's not open. I'm just going to toss it to the sidelines. Tua keeps trying to extend the game. He needs to learn to get rid of the ball. So I want you to listen to what Mike McDaniel had to say yesterday.
Back into the game, do you want him to be more cautious about how he protects himself? Do you not want him thinking about that? Or what's the line there when he goes back?
There's risks in this game, and you got to be able to control the controllables. One thing for him is you love his competitive nature, okay? But there is a time in a play where you have to kind of concede, and that's where he's kind of been focusing on, because it's something that's not natural to him. He wants to break every tackle, and he doesn't like when plays don't work. Well, sometimes they won't. So that's something that he's mindful of. And I think that's a consistency of all the really great quarterbacks that you think of, the guys that you look up to, the guys that kind of set forth the example of how to play the position, they do find ways to be available, and part of that is that concession. But that is all things considered, that's probably, it's a good problem to have in terms of a competitor. You just need to be able to understand your importance to the team, and how sometimes the best play you can make is a throwaway.
The best play you could make is a throwaway. Sometimes killing the play is the best play that you can make. Tua needs to understand that. You're in the NFL. You're the QB1. As Mike McDaniel just said, your number one attribute, number one, bar none, is availability. If you're not available to play, your value diminishes, as we've seen, tremendously, and the team suffers. So it's going to be really hard for Tua to all of a sudden just become a player that just can throw the ball away. But at this point, he has to be able to look at a play, see what's going on, make his progressions, and if it's not there, throw it to the girl in the stands. Just do what you got to do. Out, it's gone. It's better to be 2nd and 10 than to be second and in the locker room with a concussion. They're going to come after you. They're going to come after you. Your biggest asset to the team is your availability. I said it in a couple of videos. I'm glad. Maybe this Barry guy is catching on, because maybe Mike heard me talking about it, but you learned that a long time ago. Availability is what makes your value. You got to be on the field. You got to play. So I wonder if Tua was listening. So today, listen to what Tua said. Tell me if they haven't been talking behind the scenes.
I guess recently you just kind of spoken to you about, putting back doing everything you can to protect yourself when you're on the field, and make sure you're not in a position where you're in harm's way. Just what was your takeaway from that message?
Yeah, for me, I've always been a person to try to make something happen. That's always been my mindset, if you will, and throwing the ball away hasn't been something that I've done in the past really well, because I'm trying to make plays, and so just learning from that. If it's not there, it's okay to throw it away. It's the longevity of me just being able to be the quarterback for this team, and not try to make a something out of nothing. Plays will come to us, and that's kind of what our mantra for our offense is.
It's the mantra for our offense. Mantra, USA, throw the ball away. If you get in a position where you've gone and you've looked at Tyreek and you've looked at Jalen Waddle or some guys blitzing, toss it. Go look at old Joe Montana plays. Go look at a lot of what Brady does. In fact, what Brady was screaming at his offensive lineman this past weekend. Tua needs to get pissed. Tua needs to get in front of Eichenberg and some of these idiots up front. I'm sorry, I won't call them idiots. That was wrong. These offensive linemen up front, and get in their faces and say, if you guys don't friggin' start blocking, the people in the stands are going to catch most of my passes. I am not going to sit back here and try to run around because you guys can't block. You're the leader. You are the captain. It's time to get fired up and get pissed. Now, I understand that's not really his personality, but at this point, you have no choice. Your head coach has just tried to instill in something to you that you're not used to. You can tell by his demeanor. You're telling me to give up? Yeah, I'm telling you to give up. I'm telling you, if you get to a point where shit's breaking down, toss the ball. And you can tell he doesn't really like it. I mean, if you look at it, just look at his face right here. Look at that. That's not a happy guy. That's not someone who's like, yeah, I can do this. He's being told to do something that is completely foreign to him. It's not going to work the first weekend. It may not work the second weekend. They're going to have to do it in practice. And if somebody comes in, he's got the red shirt and, you can't touch him. But if someone gets close to you, get rid of the ball. He has to learn how to do that. Otherwise, he's going to be just in the locker room a lot more this season. I don't want to see that look on his face. I don't want to see that look of I don't know what to do. I don't want to see that. I want to see a guy who realizes I am so valuable to this team that I would rather have an incompletion and look like I just threw the ball away than I took a hit that could potentially take me out of the game and destroy my availability and decrease my value. If you're not on the field winning, then your availability and your value to the team diminishes as well. So let's take some comments. You're exactly right. It is not giving up. It's surviving and helping the team. He's got to learn that. Absolutely. Tua is a great student. He'll make this adjustment with ease. It's going to take a team adjustment. He's going to have to hear from these guys, please, Tua, throw the friggin' ball away. If you look at Tyreek, you look at Waddle, you look at Gesicki, you don't have time, it's gone. Just get rid of it. We're fine with an incompletion. We're not fine with you laying on the ground. It's that simple. And as much as you can tell it pains him, and his competitive nature is like, what do I do here? I've been taught to make a play. I've been making plays since high school. And now I just got to throw the ball away? Yeah, you damn well better throw the ball away, especially with this offensive line. You're absolutely right. This offensive line better step up. There's no choice. I'm telling you, if this kid goes down again, he's done for the season. They're not going to bring him back. They're not going to let him come back. If he goes down with another concussion, call it a day. Mark my words, it's 7:07 on October 19th. If he gets another concussion, he's done. And it would drive me crazy. You guys know how I feel about him. Just throw to someone open and get a first down. It's not that easy. This is what I've been saying here. Wait a minute, where am I here? Where's this? Joey Cantu says, maybe we can involve Ingle to help him with blocking. Somebody, bring in another tight end. Bring in Alec Ingold, have him stay in. Those guys are going to get open. I mean, Tyreek's got the most receiving yards in the league. He's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's record. You got time, he's going to get open. If you have time to throw to Tyreek, he's going to find some place to get open. And Jalen Waddle's not going to fumble every damn reception. Those two guys will get open. Our quarterback needs help so that he can get the ball to them. This offensive line can't do it. Every defensive coordinator in the NFL knows right now this offensive line is a sieve. They're not going to do it. We don't even know if Tehran's going to be playing this week. Big Toe no-show. Big Toe no-show needs to get out there. He needs to protect Uno. I'm tired of Big Toe no-show not being in the game. You're getting paid way too much money. You're taking way too many days off. Do something. This team cannot run on three legs. Just can't happen. Can't happen. We need to trade for an offensive lineman as soon as possible, someone with experience and good enough blocking. I don't know if there's anybody out there. We got the money. We definitely have the salary cap, but who's out there? Let's see here. You say, yep. You'd rather have Tua down 10 in a game and throw the ball away than done for the season. Absolutely. I'd rather lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd rather lose the game than lose Tua. If you have to throw the ball away on 4th and 1, for whatever reason you'd be throwing on 4th and 1, just so you don't get popped, throw the ball away. Jeez, it's really simple. Willie Samper says that Teron Armstead is the key to the offensive line success. He's the only one that's really playing. I mean, Connor Williams with his bad snaps, okay, fix that. But at least you don't see many people coming up the middle at the quarterback. They're coming from that guard slot. Man, but even Greg Little had a couple whiffs this past weekend. Call Carolina now to get, who's this? Moton and Burns for Gesicki and draft picks. Gesicki, I think, is on a trading block. I saw something on Twitter where they said they're not taking offers, but they're listening to offers. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're listening to offers, means you're willing to take one. Just stop with the games. Tony Reese, I love these wannabe jams. I think you just trade for a top tackle. Top tackles, I'm telling you, are probably right below quarterbacks in terms of value. And teams just, especially midway through the season, aren't just giving them away. The only way you're going to get a really good tackle is on a team that's already, once they're out of the running, somebody might dump something off and start playing for next year, but we don't have that kind of time. You're absolutely right, Mark Phillips. The Steelers and Brian Flores will be throwing everything at Tua. Everything. It's going to be crazy. The whole environment on Sunday is going to be oh, wait a minute, Sunday. That's right. We're giving away 2 free tickets to this game. Go to windolphinstickets.com. Windolphinstickets.com. Don't I have that here someplace? Yeah. Go to windolphintickets.com right now. Go ahead and enter to win. We're going to be giving them away and announcing the winners tomorrow. And if you have a chance, go ahead and donate to Clean the World Foundation. These guys are doing some amazing work. I never would have thought about it, but if you've ever been out of your home in a hurricane, you haven't been able to take a shower, and you start stanking, these guys are providing mobile showers for people who are displaced. So windolphinstickets.com and try to win 2 tickets in a club level for this weekend's game. Just got back from a creek cleaning of trash, just like the NFL should be doing all this BS. Absolutely. I like how you tied that together. It's a cleaning. Connor Williams needs to stop making rookie mistakes. That's absolutely true. At this point, we just need Austin Jackson back as well. I know he's still, waiting to get his game together. He's still hurting. A lot of stuff. We need a big body wide receiver. I don't think we need a big body wide receiver. Mike Gesicki, 6'6". Whatever happened with Ezekama, got to get him back on the field real soon. He's another outlet, but we don't have a dearth of receivers. We got receivers. We need time. He needs time to throw the doggone ball. And this offensive line isn't giving it to him. Donnie says, Tua and Fins will be prepared for Pittsburgh blitzing. More concerned about pressure from 4 and clogging up passing lanes downfield. If they blitz, as long as Tua can spot the blitz, you always throw to where the blitz is coming from, Tyreek will be open. Remember, if you're blitzing somebody, you're giving up coverage. And with a QB1 in there, if you don't get to him, he's going to find the open man. Trust me on that one. If he has the time, he will find the open man. Let's see. Can you explain why? Where'd that go? No, I can't explain. Can you explain why Teddy could not practice in protocol, but Pickett can? That's it. That's what this entire episode was about. I can't figure it out. I cannot figure out how you get a concussion, get taken off the field on Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon, get admitted into the concussion protocol, and your coach says, he's playing. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments. I don't normally go live this time of night. I know you have a lot of choices, a lot of guys out there doing live streams. I hope that you got some informative game stuff from me. I hope you tune in the next time, but don't forget to go to windolphinstickets.com. Go spend some time with the wife, eat some dinner,